Hey everybody, Undercover Detective Matt Pitcher with, as always, Willie. And this is Undercover Dumpster Fire, as hopefully you all are learning. So today's
Mhm.
episode, I'm kind of excited about, and it's kind of a special one. We started into this, and as you all know, we are definitely kind of fumbling our way through it here in the beginning a little bit.
Yep.
um, but we're getting like one step closer each time, right? 1% better. That's
That's
that's my
right.
motto.
That's right.
So we want to go back to the beginning and let everybody know exactly how this came about and why we're doing it. I mean, sure, we're making what, about 2 million a week off of that? Is that
Yeah.
what we make?
I
Yeah,
mean, we just got endorsed by Reese's, so we're doing all right.
we're doing good. Um, yeah, actually, no, of course we don't make it. Actually, we lose a little bit of money doing this because of subscriptions
Probably.
and stuff. But
Yep.
um, I'm
Mhm.
telling you, it's more than worth it. So
Mhm.
this is a huge passion for both of us. You know, I volunteer with different things for mental health. Willie not only volunteers, but he's also a therapist, well educated, and has really gone out of his way um, to be able to help those in trauma. And
Yep.
for both of us, it kind of started the same way from trauma in our life and stuff that we had gone through. And it's that, especially, Willie being a firefighter, me having been in law enforcement, we're all about like that. Those careers, whether people want to believe it or not, are about helping people
Yeah.
um, and
100%.
going after. And when you stop doing that, it's like, man, I still got to help people. You can't get rid of that urge.
Yeah.
And this is just a step forward in that. It's not just first responders. Yes, we talk a lot about first responders. That is a focus point in some ways for us,
Mhm.
but it's more important for us that anybody that is gone through trauma. Um,
Yeah.
they need. We really are reaching out to those people. That's who we want watching
Yeah.
this.
Hmm.
And
Yeah, you
hopefully
know
we
what
want to be
a
helping.
dumpster fire is, right? Not the literal kind, like a dumpster that's on fire, but a dumpster fire. I didn't actually look this up in Urban Dictionary, but I feel like the dumpster fire would say something like, "You're a hot mess." And since Matt was undercover detective, so now we're undercover hot mess,
Yeah.
which became undercover dumpster fire. So we're talking about that hot mess
Yep.
that we had, you had, other people had, and more importantly, what to do with it too, like how to address it. So
Exactly.
lots of education, so I have to be specific because I'm licensed and I can get, I have to be mindful of that. There's a board of ethics and all this stuff. So long story is to say that this is just education. We're going to hit topics, but I will pull in, information from the world of psychology and, interventions and talk about diagnosis and stuff like that and treatment. But also from a peer perspective, like there's
Yeah.
professional side and then we're talking about regular stuff. We're just people and we're
Yep.
just trying to reach out to other people that have gone through similar stuff. And that's you. That's awesome. It's good to have you on here.
Exactly. And we're also
Mhm.
going to tell some cool stories. Each episode will start. We have questions that come in from people about my undercover life, about Willie's firefighting, and so we're going to answer those questions. And 9.9 times out of 10, those questions also have trauma related to them. So that kind of what
Mhm.
brings it in. We are also going to have guests. We had a guest last week. She was freaking awesome.
Mhm.
Um, and we're going to continue to do so. We have
Yeah.
dispatchers coming on as guests here in the near future, as well as law enforcement firefighters. I want to get spouses of or significant others of law enforcement and firefighters because they
Yeah.
go through it too. So just
Mhm.
as many people as we can. I actually have an idea. I haven't reached out to him yet, but even a mother of a victim of a crime
Oh, totally.
that I know personally that I've kept in touch with for years now and the
Yeah.
struggles that they have gone through. It's a human trafficking case, and their
Mm.
daughter was trafficked,
Oh,
and
yeah. Yeah, that's a
the
hot
trauma that
topic.
they,
We should talk about
yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Anything you can do to help the kids. I feel like
It's
that's a
huge.
heartstring.
Yeah,
It's hard to
exactly.
turn that off.
Yeah,
You
no,
shouldn't
you
turn it
don't.
off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
You never turn it off. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like the
Yeah.
other part of it, so I'll give you a quick synopsis of my career. 23 years in law enforcement. I don't know. 15 of those years I was undercover. My claim to fame, if you will. I spent 2 years embedded with the mafia, and I was isolated from my friends and family for those 2 years. And then literally came home for 1 month, and then was asked to turn around and embed with domestic terrorists. And so I did that for a year. My thing, I uh, there's a. Did you do a thumbs up? Because that was crazy.
You did it. It was the internet world giving you thumbs up, man. I didn't even move. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
So I spent a year with domestic terrorists and was able to prevent a bombing at the Democratic National Convention. Received the
That's
Medal of Valor for
badass. Yeah. That's cool.
So it's
Yeah.
funny when I got the award, the supervisor that was over the whole unit is the one who wrote me up for it. And she wrote this incredible long speech about it. And it, of course, it brought me to tears,
Yeah.
And it was one of those things because I finished that case and I was lost, trying to regain myself. And the fact is, the case was very secretive, right? Like even this
Hmm.
award ceremony was held in a basement. Very few people could attend, and part of that's for my safety because I'm undercover. You
Yeah.
can't make a big splash out of this, and
Yeah.
aspects of the case and everything else they couldn't be publicized. And so nobody in the agency knew what I did, knew what I they prevented, everything like that. And so your egos hurt a little bit.
That's
Like
overwhelming too
yeah,
for
like
you. All of a sudden, everybody in your, vicinity that knows you professionally in that, would know about what happened and
yeah,
want to know more. And
yeah.
you're
So
trying to
like
figure it
everybody
out.
like people, oh, so he just took, a year off and didn't really do anything. And I couldn't tell him, can't tell him whom with what I did, anything like that. And so your ego is just completely like, okay, this is
Yeah.
what it is. But she wrote this incredible thing, and you're supposed to walk up, shake the chief's hand right away, and do all that. I walked straight over to her and just gave her a huge hug.
Hey man, you
Yeah,
probably needed a hug. Yeah.
yeah, like it just so like I was so thankful because of being, you feel forgotten and everybody thinks you
Yeah.
didn't do anything, and somebody recognized what you went through and
Hmm.
how important what you did was. So
Yeah.
that was so important
That
to me.
like stamped it. Like
Yeah,
that was
exactly.
real.
Yep.
Yes. Good job. Yeah, I know we don't get into that kind of field of helping people for recognition, but it does help though.
Yeah.
Along the way, just because it's a lot of mental, for especially undercover, that's a lot of mental games going on, and to be validated, to say, "Hey, the good job." Like we are adults, but we also need to know when we do a good job. Like
Yeah,
it
exactly. I mean,
reinforces things.
yep,
Yeah, man.
100%.
That's cool. Yep,
So yeah.
that's super cool. Well, let
So,
me just say that my fire career started when I was 24. I'm not gonna say how old I am now, but you could guess. Just put it in the comments. I get all kinds of
20,
random.
26, right? Isn't that?
Yeah, it was like yesterday, and but I started out because I wanted to help people, and that was my only motivation. I got inspired by, this sounds bad, but you'll hear me out. The September 11 attacks on the World Trade Center and Pentagon and all that. I was watching it and I saw the firemen run up, and they, of course, over time, there's a lot more information, but at the time, this is brand new. We're just watching it. So I'm watching them pull into the collapse zone and then run up the stairs, and knowing that they're not coming back likely, and if they do, it's a miracle. And that inspired me to then want to help in some kind of meaningful way. And so a couple years later, I was able to then go to a fire academy, and I was the first person there and the last person to leave. I didn't know I had any leadership qualities. I was never in a situation. I installed furnaces and air conditioners, like just a guy. That's all and I knew carpentry. I could do that too, And so, just long story to say, like that was where it started. I ended up becoming like class rep and gave a speech at graduation, and then I was hired from there and worked for almost 10 years, um, until I got diagnosed with PTSD. And about a year before I retired early, then I started into counseling because I just wanted to make sure that firefighters and other first responders had somebody that they could relate to and that I could relate to also, because I like to work with people that are like me, that want to help. I can't stand negative ninnies. People that just complain all the time and like, like firefighters don't complain. You don't have time to complain. You're the last person they call. Like, they don't know what to do, so they call the fire department. Like we can't. You can complain, but there's nothing that it produces. So
Exactly.
um, anyway, so here we are, and then we're trying to reach out to other people like us or that have been through traumatic events because it's lonely, isolating, it's difficult on your relationships, your mental health, physical health. So there's a lot of issues, and that's what we're trying to do is talk about some of those on here. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Make it not so scary to talk about,
Yeah.
and just gain a little bit of a following that way. And hopefully, make it a community where people we're helping each other get through this, right?
Yeah.
And learn
Exactly.
and move forward. And for the people that realize, oh crap, I need to seek help. Maybe
Hmm.
this will give them that little push that, oh, it's not so bad to seek help, and oh, I can go see a therapist, and it doesn't make me weak, doesn't make me this
Yeah.
or that. Um,
Yeah,
little
exactly.
advice
And
there.
can I say, since we're both retired from first responder work, like firsthand anyway, I still work with lots of police and fire, and I know you do too, Matt. So we're not saying that, but also retirement in and of itself from a public service is difficult,
Yeah.
and that's its own challenges. So if there's retired people out there that want to follow along, and it's hard to find a community. You have to redefine your purpose, like try to reorient yourself in a way, and find meaning every day, where you used to go to work and do that, and then now what do you do after? So this is kind of like also, hey, some retired first responders, what do they do after they're done doing all the crazy stuff, you
Yep.
know?
Exactly. And that's the other thing as we gain forward and we move forward, and hopefully gain some momentum, and start a little bit of a movement. And we haven't really talked about this, so hopefully you're on board. Uh, but
I'm on board.
I,
Yeah.
I like everything that's going on with veterans, the move forward there. There's a
Mm-hmm.
definite push with PTSD and everything with the veterans,
Mm-hmm.
realizing they need help. Um, you know,
Yeah.
I can see now veterans can get 100% disability after work with PTSD. Like
Yeah.
they're realizing this. We are
Mm-hmm.
in the first responder world, not just law enforcement, not just firefighters, but include dispatchers and everything, medics, all of it, nurses. We're light years behind that on this side of thing.
Yeah.
Like
Totally.
there is no, a department. Once you're at that point, it's just get out. You're done. I mean,
Yeah.
you can get disability from the government, but as for the department and it's not there. And we need to
Oh, it's
catch
not
up, and
there
we
at
need to
all.
catch up in a
Yeah.
hurry.
Yeah.
It's
Totally.
ridiculous how far behind we are. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Can I
like,
add something to that? So
absolutely.
one of the states I'm licensed in is Colorado. And in 20, I believe it was 2018, 2016, 2016, the state of Colorado recognized PTSD for first responders, and it became a workers' comp claim. You can
Right.
claim that, but that's 2016, so that's 9 years ago, and that's one state. And so I'm from Michigan, and Michigan had PTSD as a workers' comp for quite a while. There's a lot of manufacturing, a lot of service industry, and industrial stuff, accidents. Uh,
Yep.
and but not every state even recognizes that when you go to work as a cop or a firefighter or EMT or even dispatcher or even animal control or
Yeah.
like all these public service jobs, they don't all agree over the country that you can be traumatized at work. That includes
Exactly.
teachers who go through mass shootings.
Yeah. Or I mean, like I've been seeing some stuff lately, and it's mind-boggling. Teachers that get beat up by students like severely and
Yeah,
stuff like. Do you know what kind of
exactly.
impact that has to have on their life? Unbelievable. I
Yeah.
mean, they get it in trying to teach a
Yeah.
kid, and that happens. I can't.
Hmm. Yeah,
Horrible.
exactly. So this is, you're right. We have such a long ways to go. That's just like a formal thing. It's not even, there's informal stuff happening and people are trying to address it. But yeah, suicide rates, divorce rates, alcoholism, it's huge. And we can't afford to lose people. In my public and personal opinion, we cannot afford to lose first responders, whether they're active or they're retired, because I tell you what,
Exactly.
if there was a house fire across the street, I guarantee
Still
you I
running.
would be there. I
Yeah.
would run across the street. Like, so I'm not working, but I'm, that kind of person. I feel like we need more of these kind of people. And we can't afford to lose any of them. And
Exactly.
I'm sure there's always bad eggs in the basket, but such is life
Yeah.
also.
You won't find a single career out there that doesn't have that. I mean, that's just it
Yeah.
is what it is.
Yep. So
But I
we
mean,
got
you're
to
talking,
prevent stuff.
yeah,
Mhm.
99% of the people get in it to help and want to help. So
Yeah. Yeah. So tell me, and tell everyone else too, Matt, how did we meet?
yeah. So we met where both Willie and I are actors. I'm much better looking than he is, so I.
Uh, I'm way stronger though. I'm bulkier.
um, actually, I'll be honest on this one. As much as I hate this, Willie has been like I used to act back in the late '90s, screen acting, and just loved it. There's something very therapeutic about developing this other character and being this other person that
Yeah.
blew me away. And so once I had to retire from law enforcement, and after I did the whole knee jerk reaction that we talk about, like, oh my gosh, my world's over,
Hmm.
all the PTSD is now getting much worse there for a little while and the health issues. Finally, once it clicked that, oh, you know what would be a lot of fun and what I really enjoyed is to try to get back into acting. And so
Yeah.
stumbling my way through that, and Willie, who's been doing it for a while now, has been a huge help to me. Um,
Uh,
and giving me advice and teaching me some things. So he's been incredible. But the first thing I got when I get back into acting was a commercial. And sure enough, it was Willie, myself, and Darren, in case he's listening. Hey, Darren, got to give you a shout out on this.
Darren.
Uh,
Yep.
three of
Hmm.
us together, and there was an instant connection with the three of us. And then, of course, Willie and I with the first responder thing. I think we talked about it almost immediately. It's kind of
Hmm.
weird. Um,
Yeah.
and
That's
then
funny.
since then we stayed connected
Hmm.
and talked about different things. We didn't like this podcast has only come up. I think we first talked about it a couple months ago or 3 months ago,
Hmm. I
and
remember
wrestling.
saying, "Hey, this is a 2025 goal,"
Yes, exactly.
and it
Yeah,
was sometime in 2024. So here we
yep.
are.
And
We're
we're making it
accomplishing
happen.
goals. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Um,
Hmm.
but like
Yeah.
Willie said, I mean, we both have. We're still acting. We love acting. Like that. That's
Hmm.
our therapy and everything else. It's just an
Yeah.
awesome thing to do. But this is extremely important to us.
Hmm.
And so we're constantly trying to figure out a way to make this happen, make it better. We're going to keep fumbling for a while. Anybody out
Hmm.
there that thinks what we're doing is great and is very technical and knows all this stuff,
Yeah.
and would be willing to work for
Producer.
free, a producer, we
Producer
would.
in training that likes first responders and likes mental
Exactly.
health and wants some airtime.
we, we'd be a huge fan of that.
Yes, please.
Yeah,
Thank you.
exactly.
Yeah. Well, and I just say we're being real on here. Me and Matt both do acting professionally outside of this realm. And what's funny to me is I keep getting booked as a cop.
Yeah,
And so I just go with it because,
yeah.
like when you're fire, I mean, I would be sitting at the firehouse and cops are just hanging out and,
Yeah.
and we're just,
Well, we
and
know
we're
where the
on
good food
scenes.
is.
Yeah, exactly. You're always showing up like, oh,
Oh, look at this. It's dinner time. Just a
oh, gotta
coincidence.
go, gotta call, can't do dishes, like real quick. So, yeah. So it's cool to be like in this other realm in entertainment. And I just shot yesterday as a cop in Miami, and
Saw the
that was
pictures. Nice.
fun. Yeah, it was fun. You'll see me. I won't say who the client is, but you'll see me likely from a billboard. Uh,
Sweet.
and we'll see how that goes. But and then Matt, you've been doing acting stuff on like films
Yeah, so
and
I've been getting a lot of like
commercials.
short films and
Hmm.
I did a vertical film, which was totally new to me. Um, Very cool, but so much different. It was kind of wild.
Hmm.
But and yeah, I'm actually keep my fingers crossed. I know I'm a finalist for a commercial for Friday in Miami that I'm hoping to get. That would be awesome. Uh,
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Good for you, man. Yeah. So you
thank
might hear a little bit of like people who are listening, you'll hear us talking about that. We have our
you.
own
Yeah.
kind of other scenario, but we're being real in here and being authentic, sharing, hope with the hope that if we share something real, you can just see about two normal people and they're just talking about, what hurt and what helps and trying to create a conversation around mental health and first responders and healthcare people and service members that are struggling, and other people who are traumatized. So I'd also add too, if you have questions, you can message us, you can comment, you can email, and we have links and stuff in our bio for cop. Was it cop? Uh, it's
Oh, cop
the
line. Cop line.
Cop line,
Yeah.
yes. So 24/7, someone to talk to if you need somebody, confidential, and we like to network with other people. That's a
Yeah.
strength in first responder community. It is a should be and is a sense of community. Um, but it takes work to do that. So if there's someone you think that we should connect with, just let us know. And or if somebody wants to network and just keep this conversation going, feel free to message us. We'd be glad to talk with you.
Yeah, and if
And
you like, if you experience some stuff and you wanted to come on and you think your story would help other people, definitely
yeah,
reach out with that as well.
exactly.
That's
Yeah.
part of like our stories should
Hmm.
be helping each other. Like even the mistakes,
Yeah.
I talk very openly. Um, I was diagnosed in 2023 with PTSD and CPTSD. Um,
Hmm.
that was 10 years after I should have gotten help.
Yeah.
uh,
Hmm.
and like I want people to learn from that. It came very close to costing my life. It cost me my health big time for a while. I'm very lucky to have gotten my health back.
Hmm.
So we need to learn from each other in that. And then the other thing that you brought up that which I meant to earlier, which is a huge thing, the authenticity, right? The We're being very genuine in this. This is the only one, knock on wood, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to be, this one's pre-recorded just because we had scheduling conflicts. But most of the
Yeah.
time we go live because I want you to see that more genuine. You're going to see the emotions. I think
Yeah.
we've both cried in an episode now.
Yeah.
Um,
I did it twice, man, in the same episode.
yeah, but that
Ooh.
story, that's on you.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a heartbreaking
Uh,
story. Um, but like I want you just to feel that this is real. You know, it's
yeah.
not like I'd be the first. Like you, it's funny because I do certain things. I even noticed I did it. I just came back from a family trip. We may talk about that a little bit next week, um, and all the emotions that go with that. But I still have a hard time saying I had PTSD.
Hmm.
And I always, it's funny because I'm talking to myself, but I'm talking to a person. I almost always say the same thing. Well, I guess I'm talking about this now. So I have PTSD. Like I add that little part. I'm like,
Hmm.
why? Like it's kind of like I have to say it to myself, like affirm to myself that okay, I'm
Yeah.
gonna do this, and it's so weird. Um,
That is. Yeah.
but that's what I want, that authenticity to come out. That none of this is pre-recorded. None of it is. We don't
Hmm.
take anything out. What you get, what we say is what you get. We're not editing it. Nothing.
Yeah.
Um,
Exactly.
so hopefully
Yep.
that helps you feel a little more. You know, it's okay to be vulnerable. We're going to be vulnerable. We're going to
Yeah.
step out there on that little limb and see if it holds.
Exactly. Yeah, totally. Well, and likewise in 2008, this is dating me a little bit, but 2008, that's when I got diagnosed with PTSD. And it really was, now that I'm licensed and all that, like I went through graduate school and all that stuff after, but now I know that I had PTSD to begin with. I had it when I was little, and
Yeah.
then it just compounded, and then fire service. also was rough on me, and it's rough on everybody. But depending on where you're at and calls and different things and your life circumstances,
Yeah.
some people get traumatized, some don't, some more than others, and some just fake it
Yeah.
and try to act like nothing's going on, which is what I did and what you were probably doing, Matt. Like,
Exactly.
hey, how you doing, man? And
Yep.
then
Oh, I'm good. All right, everything's
exactly.
fine.
And then me too. Hey, cool, awesome, that's great. And let's not talk about anything other than that. Yeah.
Exactly. And whenever something
So
bad happens, joke in. It is what it is.
yeah, you
Hey,
just
I just
kind
had to
of
shoot somebody. It is what it is.
yeah. I mean, the bullet came out, and or like the just kind of laughing stuff off, and then but on the inside you're crying your head off because
Yeah.
you don't know how to make sense of what just happened, and there's too many
Yep.
things, and everyone's asking, I don't know. And so there's that kind of genuineness. I think you'll also hear empathy from us. I focus on it in a
Yeah.
lot of ways with people. I'm super supportive. I hate negative people. I shouldn't say I hate them, because there's people, that's a lot of people. But
It's frustrating. Like, 'cause it
it's
frustrates me too. Like,
I just choose to spend my time around people who want to build other people up
yeah,
and like be positive, try to do better, try to help and
exactly.
give something to this world versus like take. I don't like
Yes.
to spend time around people who just take all the time. It feels draining to me. I can feel it, like
No,
you're
no,
taking everything
100%.
from me,
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
um,
You can literally like
yeah.
about you just like
Yeah, you feel like
yeah.
they're, or it's all about them, or like it's just, I don't know. I would rather collaborate with people, team up. I have an abundance mentality, meaning that, like, for instance, on the acting field, in the acting industry, I think that there's enough work out there. There's something for everybody, and
Everybody.
there's a perfect role for you, and it's not going to pass you up. It's
Yep.
going to happen when it's supposed to happen, but our job then is just to keep going.
Putting in the work. Yeah,
And
put in the work and be ready when it comes around.
yeah,
100%
exactly.
agree. Yeah.
Yeah, and here we are, like we're doing a podcast talking about PTSD, and
Yeah.
the first hardest part is actually acknowledging, like, hi, I have a problem.
It is. Oh, 100%.
Yep,
Yeah. I mean,
yep.
it's like, and it's funny because I look back at it and my extreme resistance to therapy. Uh, and now looking back, it's like, what the heck was wrong with, like, why was I
I
so
know.
adamant about not getting help?
Yeah,
Like, you
it's
look
just
back,
like a
it doesn't
massage.
make sense. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
like if so, I just tell you this. I had my first massage. I did this GoPro games, which was like 4 events. It was like a whitewater kayak, a trail
Mm.
run, a mountain bike, and then a time trial from Vail to Vail Pass, and you had to
Oh,
do it all in one day.
I want to do that.
It was bad. That was a
Yeah.
fun time in my life, but I'm not there anymore. I don't, anyway. The so I did that event, and then the next day, somebody gifted me, one of my colleagues. I was running a company that was it was a nonprofit that was counseling and training first responders out in Colorado. It's working with police and fire and all that. Long story short, the one of the colleagues gave me a massage for free, like
Nice.
a gift certificate, and so
Yeah,
I was like, oh
he didn't take you aside and say, hey.
yeah. He's like, now I'm giving you a massage. Like, is this supposed to happen? But no, but no, I had never had one, and I was 35, so I'm dating myself again, but I don't even care, because I was like, this is like how men think.
Yeah,
I'm not letting no person touch me
that's me.
unless it's somebody that I want to touch me and not paid to touch me. But it's like, after I was like, man, I love that.
Yeah.
Why did I wait so long to get a stupid massage? It was just like they're working out all of your muscles, and I felt terrible but great, like
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
painful.
See,
It's a
I didn't have
sports
like because
massage.
playing football, they started having us get massaged and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I fell in love with it
Yeah,
pretty
so
quickly.
you were good with it.
Yeah.
But for therapy, it's the same way. Why did you
Yep.
wait so long? I don't know.
Exactly.
It's the fear is like way worse than it actually is.
Correct.
And especially if you're talking to people who understand, because like I almost it's not solely men, but most of my clients are guys.
Yeah.
And I think it's because they're like, oh, he's another guy and he understands this kind of stuff that we go through. And, you know, and I do
And I can
work with a lot of
understand that to a
females too.
degree, just like I could understand a female only wanting to go to a